All right, welcome to the AI Equation Podcast. I'm your co-host, Alex, and I'm here with Jake today, and we are talking about the big news in the world of AI. Sam Altman has been fired from OpenAI, and this is interesting news for us because Jake and I, as we were preparing for the AI Equation Podcast episodes next week, we were going to cover everything you need to know about ChatGPT and AI. It's everything that we've been doing since last November for the past year on the run up to launching an AI app, which is Article Factory. And then we've obviously had many other AI thought leaders on our podcast. We do the weekly news. So we're in that world of AI. But the news today caught everyone off guard in the world. And I don't think it's just AI, it's technology, it's business. And we don't really know why yet, but we're going to cover today what we know about the shakeup. Let me share my screen here with you guys, and I'm sure we'll know more by Monday. All right, Jake, so you start us off here with what you know.
Yeah, so like you said, probably won't know the whole story for maybe ever, but at least for a few days. So OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has been fired, pushed out, left the company. It's kind of, again, up in the air about what it exactly was due to a loss of confidence from the board, the OpenAI board. They cited a lack of candid communication with the board. So inconsistent communication, basically that was hindering the company or the board's ability to basically have effective oversight over OpenAI. And another thing that it's also strange because Sam Altman just delivered the keynote at OpenAI Dev Day last week, and it was really good in bringing out all the new features for that are coming to GPT. And Greg Brockman, also another co-founder of OpenAI, is also stepping down from chairman of the board. It seems like he is, remaining with the company, but no longer will be the chairman of the board.
This is crazy. It's just crazy because, while you have so many co-founders here, Jake, we've followed a lot of these guys. We're covering a lot of it with, on the back end of every podcast, different thought leaders. But these two guys were absolutely the face of OpenAI and ChatGPT. I mean, you remember Brockman's TED Talk earlier this year, and then Sam Altman has been, he's done a world tour, everything. They are the talk of everything AI, everything tech. And to me, when you read how they positioned it here, Altman's departure follows a deliberative review process of the board, as you were just mentioning, which concluded that he was not consistently candid. So what does that mean? Like you and I were talking before the podcast here, was like, we don't know. Probably no one will ever know. But it is strange because he has been the face of AI. And I think, it's too early to speculate, but I think there are other forces in the tech world, like Elon Musk, for one, who was actually, stepped away from OpenAI in 2018 because of his conflict with Tesla. And of course, he's had a dislike, distaste for OpenAI, Sam Altman, and those guys, and it's been like a back and forth. But I've read on some threads on Reddit that there's some, it's very classic of Elon Musk. And again, this is just speculation that there's connection between people on the board and people like Elon Musk trying to slow down where they're going, which, by the way, you and I have covered it here on the podcast before. Elon Musk and others in the tech world have called for a slowdown of artificial intelligence. Although the irony there, or the hypocrisy with Elon Musk, is that he also built and just launched his own AI a few weeks back. So he kind of wants it both ways. So I am just wondering, like, is the story as it unfolds in the coming weeks, are we going to hear that there was some something to do with Elon Musk or anybody else? Because I know Microsoft, I just read a statement from Microsoft that says that they're going to continue their relationship with OpenAI. So it's not going to affect anything there. But as you can see here, there, Mira Murati, he's appointed interim CEO to lead OpenAI. I don't know what that means. And you know what? Another thing, Jake, that we didn't cover on the podcast this week, but it was big news too, was that I think yesterday or the day before, but it was definitely this week, they had released a message that we actually got, because we're registered as OpenAI developers on the platform, and we got a notice basically that they weren't taking on new. It wasn't clear whether it was GPT plus customers or was it ChatGPT OpenAI developers. Wasn't clear, but basically they were saying they were stopping it because, I don't know, for anybody who uses ChatGPT daily or has an app powered by them, there has been a lot of outages. It's like people can't get enough of the technology. So
yeah, so I believe it was the Plus subscriptions went down, because I actually saw a headline today that people were selling Plus subscriptions on eBay.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Like, how does that work? I mean, has there been any company in history? I know I follow tech and business for over 2 decades. There's no company that, I mean, not Google, not Facebook, not TikTok, that had a product that was in such high demand that has 100 million daily active users, and people can't get enough of it. People are throwing money at them. So yeah, it's the fastest growth to 100 million users. It's a fastest growth to $1 billion. I mean, is there an animal that's bigger than a unicorn? If there is, we should like coin it that. They are not the unicorn like the Airbnbs or Googles of the world. I mean, OpenAI, really not trying to exaggerate, but honestly, they've done something that I have never seen in the history of tech or business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned the Microsoft partnership, because that was another thing that they only mentioned right at like OpenAI Dev Day. I do find it strange though that they still, had Sam Altman like trot out there and do the keynote, if then a week later this is what's going on. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and the media is up in arms. I mean, you could see here in this one, Washington Post says that he resigned, so that's inaccurate. Or maybe we'll find that it's accurate. Who knows, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 4 different ways to put it. There's fired, ousted, resigned,
Ousted by the board.
Yeah,
right.
No one really knows.
OpenAI board. Let's take a look at who's on their board here. Maybe we'll find there. Oh, well, no, that's the article for the leadership transition there. But yeah, I mean, look, whoever put up the blog post is obviously it came from the top down. But I was surprised to see that Brockman was on that list as well. I don't know. He's the face of OpenAI and ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. There you go. Here's another one that says he stepped down. So I don't think everybody has the story yet. We're going to find out as we go into it. But my mind is just racing because we do so much in AI. And, with Article Factory, our copywriting AI app, we're growing there, and we're mainly powered by ChatGPT and OpenAI. So for us, we, not just because of the podcast, but everything that we do for our users, you want to know what's happening with the company that actually powers your product. And I know that I'm talking to a lot of, people that have listened to the podcast here who also have apps on the OpenAI ChatGPT, the plugin store. I mean, this big new revamp that they had, DALL-E 3, all the things that you and I were talking, not but a couple hours ago today, Jake, like we chose this week right before Thanksgiving, which is about a year after they launched ChatGPT. We chose this as like the time to cover next week. We were going to cover everything ChatGPT related. And that's literally what you were working on, no?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this seems like such a weird time to do this. I mean, like you said, the DALL-E 3 just coming out, the GPTs, the, for lack of a better term, the app store that they were creating and hyped up during Dev Day. It just seems so strange for this to be happening now.
Yeah, I wonder if Sam is going to use ChatGPT to build his next resume. No,
Hopefully.
Yeah, he probably won't. No, but it gets me thinking, no, in all seriousness, it gets me thinking, like, what's he going to do next, right? What's he
Yeah.
going to do next? Is it because what if we find out as things unfold? What if we find out it's not him and it's not it was really the board? This happens all the time, right?
Mhm.
Founders get ousted by their boards. All you need is someone who's got an axe to grind, and they'll push you out. That's the downside of startups taking money from investors, right? You ultimately don't
Mhm.
own your company anymore. But I don't know actually how many shares he owns or what percentage. It can't be a lot because I know that they split it between a lot of the investors and other co-founders. But I wonder, what if it's, if this was something seen in the public eye as not his fault, and what if he goes on to do something that is in the same space, or maybe he can't, right?
Yeah.
It would make sense that he has a non-compete agreement where he can't be an AI. I don't know, but
Yeah, I was
it's
just gonna say that. I'm curious if he has this non-compete. Well, especially uh, you'd think that OpenAI would be super careful with that with uh Anthropic, how they came off of they left kind of OpenAI and then made Anthropic a direct competitor. So I'm
yeah, and
wondering if they're a lot more strict with that now.
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The other thing was I was reading earlier this week when I was interviewing an HR professional whose company they are building a GPT to help companies hire people better, do a better job, but by using AI. Anyways, we were talking about the fact that OpenAI, and it's been in the news a little bit this week, they're offering Google developers. So any developer at Google specifically, they were trying to cannibalize them and offering some of these developers to jump over to OpenAI as much as $10 million.
Wow.
It's insane. So again, my conversation with you earlier today, as we were curating next week's stories, we came to the conclusion that after speaking to different people in the media at Google, even and others, we said, you know what, we're going to focus on everything ChatGPT, OpenAI related, because honestly, that is like 99% of the story. I know that they're bigger players like Anthropic and Google, Facebook's Llama, but listen, the product that is most widely used today by anyone is ChatGPT and OpenAI. But then this happens. I've never seen, ever seen anything like this. I mean, yes, he's been there since 2015, since the beginning. So that's 8 years, right? But here in their first year, where they've kind of hit that unicorn status and have changed the world, they have. And then you have the key person leaving. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the next their OpenAI's next step and their next CEO, I'm sure will be something we're definitely looking forward to.
The what I wonder, this is, I'm sure somebody's thinking about this right now, so I'm going to go ahead and use it to see if I can come up with a good reason why he got fired. So let's ask ChatGPT, why did
Do you think it has the inside scoop?
yeah, that's who knows, right? Why did Sam Altman get fired from from OpenAI? What if we find something out here? Maybe the board put it into the GPT.
They put an Easter egg in ChatGPT.
Oh, look.
Oh,
Oh, so this only goes to April. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. That's not true. Well, now you know your boss got fired, ChatGPT. Anyways, we're going to leave it here. We could talk about this all day because it's super, super interesting. And we can't wait to kind of hear what happens next and how that changes or impacts everybody in the world of AI. It definitely matters to us. So we'll keep you guys posted on this. Come Monday, we're going to be changing some of the schedule for the podcast. It might be that next week is the week that we just do some live podcasts just to be able to bring you up to date, up to the moment news, because I think that's the other thing too, right, Jake? We found that in doing the AI news here, we're in it, so we understand it, whereas the traditional media outlets like your ABCs and CNNs, they don't, honestly, it's not a ding on them, they have great journalists, but they typically cover AI in a way that it's for the average user. The way we cover AI is usually for people who are already working in the space, and we bring news that is actually important. So anyways, I'll be interested to see what the traditional media does with this information, and what the world of the internet, and especially like sites like Reddit, I'll be looking for it this weekend. So listen, guys, we will be back next week with the AI Equation podcast. I'm your host, Alex.
And I am Jake.
All right, and we'll see you next week.